Hello, so today I have a video that I have been putting off for too long. It has been about 12 days since I finished The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan, and I finished it on Friday the 17th of October, and it was great, and I've just been putting off this video for so long, and I finally got around to doing it. And I have my Camp Halford t-shirt on. I've plaited my hair because that's how I always imagined Annabeth's hair. I've got my clay bead necklace on, which I made myself from clay, and I have my collection of Rick Riordan books. No, I don't own a copy of The Lost Hero, and no, I don't have the Demigod Files or whatever, or the new Percy Jackson's Greek Gods, because I am not ready to read more yet. I need a gap before I do that, but I loved Blood of Olympus. It wasn't my favourite in the series, but I still loved it. So I only have one complaint for this book, and I thought I'd start off with that so I can just get it out of the way. And my one complaint is the lack of Percy Jackson. Percy Jackson, everyone's favourite character. Actually, my favourite character is Apollo, but that's irrelevant. Everyone's favourite character, Percy Jackson, was not in this book a lot. I mean, it was bad enough that we didn't get a perspective, but he wasn't even part of the story. He was really pushed aside, and like, this is the finale, Rick. And Percy is your best character. You need to take advantage of your best character and put him in this book. I have this horrible obsession with things ending how they started, and yeah, I should have loved this because we had Jason, Piper and Leo, and that's how The Lost Hero started. But I think those people who say that are forgetting this wee series here. Percy is what it all started with, and I wanted it to end with Percy. So I am a bit sad about the lack of Mr. Percy Jackson, and the small snippets of Percy we did get were amazing, so it really saddens me that we couldn't have more. But besides that, I'm very much satisfied with this book. As we went along, I wrote notes for highlighted bits, the bits I'm going to say, so pretty much all of it. As I read it, I was writing notes, and so basically I'm just going to go through the events and the things that I loved in chronological order, and I hope you enjoy. So we started off with Jason's point of view, and we're straight into the action. And what I really love about Rick's books is that you don't spend 15/16 of the book just sitting around and then a big battle at the end. There's lots of mini battles and quests right throughout the book, and it's just awesome how he does that. And chapter 4 begins with the fight was going great until Jason got stabbed. And just like, hashtag Jason fails already. Oh, and then a couple of pages later we have this quote, and I'm just like, Jason managed a weak smile. At least it wasn't a head injury this time. I stayed conscious the entire fight, and I'm just like, oh my god, hashtag Jason fails. And Rick Riordan so put that one in for the fans. He so put that one in for the fans. We got a Luke mention in the first bit of this book, and I really appreciated the Luke mention because I really always liked Luke. And it's odd because you do often see Jason compared to Luke in like fan art and stuff because their appearances are similar and they've both got a scar. Jason's slightly less impressive, what with it being a stapler incident, but they are similar in that way, and it is odd to see them compared like this because I guess I'd never thought about it before, but yeah, they do have some similarities, although Luke is better, just saying. Next up we had Raina's point of view, and I was surprised that we even got Raina chapters, but I suppose the Raina and Nico ones were necessary, because without that then the whole Roman storyline would be pretty irrelevant because we'd only be following B7 and their trip with Gaia, and if we didn't have the whole thing about the battle against Camp Half-Blood there would be no point of even having Camp Jupiter. So yeah, it was nice to get Raina and Nico's point of view. Percy was eating a huge stack of blue pancakes. What was his deal with blue food? Well, Annabeth chided him for pouring on too much syrup. You're drowning them, she complained. Hey, I'm a Poseidon kid, he said. I can't drown, and neither can my pancakes. How do we defeat victory? Piper wondered. Sounds like one of those impossible riddles. Like making stones fly, Leo said, or eating only one Fonzie. He popped a handful into his mouth. Hazel wrinkled her nose. That stuff is going to kill you. You kidding? So many preservatives in these things. I'll live forever. When Percy made a joke about promoting Adidas in front of Nike, Leo realises that maybe him and Percy aren't so different after all, and that they have their sense of humour in common. And it's just sat there like, you realise this now? Leo, the fans realised this the chapter you were introduced. And the talk between Percy and Leo about Calypso was adorable, because he was going to help Leo find him, and I really wanted Percy and Calypso to just be sort of reunited and talk, because although I definitely didn't ship them, they didn't leave on good terms, and I wanted them to have closure. And I think especially as we got that scene in the House of Hades with her punishing him, I really did feel like they needed to like talk it out. But sadly that didn't happen because of the really open ending that we don't even know if Percy is still alive when Leo goes and finds Calypso. Lighting's going a bit darker. I forgot that since we changed the clocks it has been getting dark at a ridiculous time these days. Yeah, so sorry about that. So we got to see Nico's vision of Camp Half-Blood and the meeting of the Cavern leaders. It felt really odd to not see Percy there, but it was lovely to see Clarice and the Stoll brothers, because I always liked those characters. Even Rick Riordan's background characters are just amazing. And when Nico realises that his friends were in danger, the seven were in danger, and he says that his instant thought doesn't go to Percy, but that it goes to Hazel, and then to Jason, then to the rest of the seven. And I'm just like, I can understand your first worry being of Hazel, I mean she's your sister, but Jason, and he seems so proud of himself that he doesn't care about Percy as much as he used to. I'm just like, Nico, just because you're not in love with him anymore doesn't mean you're not allowed to care about him. And it was nice to see Talia and the Hunters again, and of course Raina's sister Hyla. I love that Talia's t-shirt said "Punk isn't dead, you are," and I'm just like, I love that t-shirt, I want it. I might make it. So Jason's POV section was great because Percy Jackson. I love it when other people talk about how powerful Percy is. I just have this sort of obsession with powerful people and sudden surges of power. And when Percy was asking Jason if he was good to go on this mission with him, he was like, just don't get knocked out, Jason. And I'm just like, hashtag Jason fails. I love that people are finally acknowledging that Jason is just a failure at life. And he is constantly getting knocked out. So Nico, using all of his power to send, what's his name? My camera cut out. So as I said, I love these sudden surges of power, and when he was sending him to the underworld, it was amazing. And when Raina and Hedge felt all his pain from Tartarus, from when he was sucking on pomegranate seeds, and when he met Cupid, and then we had that dream where he met Misery and she actually said to him, I have it written down, you're perfect, so much sorrow and pain. It's just like Nico has been through so much in just 14 years. I mean, even Misery herself was impressed. And he has all this power and he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's never felt truly accepted or welcome anywhere, and it really is sad, his situation. We got to see Apollo again, which was great. Sadly, he was a bit depressed, so he wasn't as great a character, but he was still awesome and funny and in love with himself. I like vain people. Is it weird that I like vain people? I think that's weird. Jason is short-sighted. Jason is short. This is a big deal. Why is no one else freaking out about this? Like, I was all freaking out with, like, Percy using Riptide as a pen. This is on the same level as Riptide the pen. And it's just like, every so often Rick Riordan will just throw these really insignificant things at us, and it'll just be like the end of the world. Jason needs glasses. It's not okay. It's not okay. And I wonder if that's like a metaphor for something. I haven't figured out what the metaphor might be yet. And it's probably something really obvious, and you're all going to be like, Freya, it's so obvious. But oh well. And it was a definite, like, this chapter had a definite this is the end feel to it, and it was really sad, and even Leo wouldn't joke, and it was so sad. It really did have a the end is coming feel though. I was in hysterics when Blackjack got shot, and I was like, I'm not okay right now, I'm not okay. And I was just imagining Percy's reaction, and I was getting really like worked up about this, and then Raina just saved him and it was all fine and dandy, and I was like, maybe I overreacted. Kool-Aid guy was all ready to save the day, and then Tyson beat him to it. That was cool. When Percy and Annabeth, oh my god, so he said, the rivalry ends here, I love you, wise girl. Oh my god, I actually cried, because I'm not familiar with the concept of tears of joy. I'd always been confused by it, and then I started crying, and I was really confused. I was like, what's happening, why the fuck are my glasses clouding up? And it was weird. In so many books and TV shows, they're just like, we need your blood for this ritual, and they're always like, we're gonna die. I'm like, excuse me, loophole, you don't actually have to die. They can just take a bit of your blood and you might feel woozy for a bit, or a bit faint, but like, you're not gonna die. And finally, a book where they're risen with just a nosebleed, and of course, Percy Jackson would wake Gaia with a nosebleed. Of course he would. And I love how everyone was joking about that afterwards. Like, even just during a massive battle, they were just like, oh yeah, Percy woke her with a nosebleed. Nico's section was amazing. I was just laughing the whole way through. When Nico met Will, the banter between them was adorable, it was on point. And when he was forced to like lean on Will because he fell, and he was like so weak, and Will was looking after him. Oh, it was adorable. He was just like, Rick was just feeding us this ship, and then Will called him Death Boy, and I was like, that's too cute, that is too cute. And Nico found out that Coach Hedge's kid was okay, and he smiled, and then he was like, his face hurt. It's just like, what is this smiling? My face hurts, I don't like it. Nico is too funny. I think Nico is very underappreciated, and sometimes I do feel like I'm the only person that actually likes Nico. The Gaia had to be a huge killjoy and just like ruin all the fun, and I was just like, my little shipper brain was just, oh my god, this is amazing, and then it was like, and then Gaia woke. Killjoy much. I loved how even though they were fighting those giants and Gaia had just written, they still had time to make jokes about Percy's nosebleed. And then we had that gathering of the gods that we had in The Lightning Thief, The Titan's Curse, and The Last Olympian, which was really nice. And they were all fighting with their godly parents, and Aphrodite was just like flying around Piper being like, oh, that's lovely day, yes, hit him again. Aphrodite is funny. Percy and Poseidon! Woo! I said in my predictions video that I wanted them to meet again. Not quite how I imagined it. Would have liked an actual conversation, but oh well. I would have liked one of the other characters' perspective for this particular scene, because I would have liked it from Leo's, I would have especially liked it from Percy's, Piper's would have been fine. Just like, Jason's relationship with his dad isn't particularly great, and it's not interesting. Like, could we not have had this with someone else? We got a mention of Percy's mum, which I was really happy about, but again, I would have preferred a reunion. Jason passed out. Jason passed out when they were fighting Gaia. I was really scared we'd go an entire book without Jason being fully conscious the whole time, and Leo's plan was amazing. I knew he wasn't dead for some reason, because I've got this like knack for knowing when a character isn't really dead. Jim Carstairs. And I'm really glad that Nico wasn't proud of killing Octavian, because he killed another like young person. It is a little bit twisted, and when he thought Will hated him for it and he didn't, and it was so cute, and he didn't care, and he was only bothered about like how if Nico was okay, and that was really cute. The scene when Nico told Percy that he had a crush on him, it was great. We'd been waiting for it